May I open by simply stating that we are here today because we've had enough. We've had enough of government policies that increase unemployment, feed inflation, cause recessions, and create misery and hardship. We've had enough of government by veto, by stalemate, by inaction, by deceit, and by pardon. America deserves better than this. And we're here today to do our level best to see that America gets something better than this. We are here to help elect Governor Jimmy Carter and Senator Walter Mondale.
On August 31st, the AFL-CIO General Board met in Washington to plan labor's strategy for the election of Jimmy Carter and Walter Mondale as President and Vice President. In his speech, AFL-CIO President George Meany talked about the issues as workers see them, and Jimmy Carter spoke directly to those issues.
We have a great vision for our country, but in recent years, that vision has been dimmed. It's been dimmed because we've seen our factories standing idle. And it's been dimmed because we've seen individual human lives with great innate natural productivity given to us by God going to waste. We've had a government in recent years of limited ability. We've had a government with timid leadership. We've had a government that's been afraid of the future. We've seen a government that tried to fight the evils of inflation with the evil of unemployment.
Yes, it has been a long, sad 7.5 years for America. For our members and for all workers, it has been an extremely difficult period. Jobs have been destroyed and the future of entire families have been jeopardized. Just take these few examples. The unemployment rate for heads of households is 3 times what it was in January 1969 when Nixon took the oath of office. For construction workers, the rate is more than triple what it was on the day Arthur Burns brought his bag of economic tricks to Washington. 17.7% officially, and in some areas and in some trades, unemployment runs as high as 30 to 40%. For blacks, unemployment is nearly double. For teenagers, especially black teenagers, the unemployment rate is catastrophic. 20 million workers will be unemployed at least once this year. 20 million families will be faced with the problem of survival until the next paycheck comes, which will be an average of 4 months away.
A lot of people say that if you put people back to work, that we are inevitably going to have high inflation. That's obviously not the case. We've seen this demonstrated over and over. When Harry Truman went out of office, with great pressures on the government at that time, the unemployment rate was less than 3%. The inflation rate was less than 1%. The budget was balanced. The interest rate on the home loan from FHA was 4%. And our people were working harmoniously together. And in spite of the fact that the President was strong and the Congress was strong, there was a sharing of responsibility. And the American people trusted its government.
Words can't hide the record of the past 7.5 years. a 64% increase in consumer prices, 3.5 times the increase of the 8 years of Kennedy and Johnson, the highest interest rates since the Civil War. These are all parts of the record. An accumulated budget deficit of $172 billion, nearly 3 times higher than the deficit incurred during the Kennedy-Johnson years. In fact, the Nixon-Ford deficit is higher than the total deficit for the previous 25 years. And how do you like that for fiscal responsibility? And that's the Nixon-Ford record. President Ford says he will run on his record. Well, one thing is for sure, we won't let him run away from it.
We are now experiencing the worst inflation rate in more than 50 years. 3 times under Nixon and Ford what it was under Johnson and Kennedy. The 1968 dollar is just worth 60 cents. And I can see why the Republicans have had to turn to the $2 bill, which has not very well been received by the American people. We can bring the inflation rate down below 4% in 4 years with tough, competent management and with the commitment to a broad range of measures designed to stop inflation.
If the Republican platform were ever enacted, it would be the biggest giveaway in American history, a giveaway to the corporations. What is left would be turned over to the states to operate, despite 200 years of evidence that the individual states cannot cope with broad-scale national problems.
We must reject the dogma that's been put forward by the Republican Party that events are out of control, that the government of free human beings can't correct mistakes, can't answer difficult questions, cannot deal with human needs, and cannot be effective.
We are convinced the American people want government that works, and Jimmy Carter is pledged to make government work for all of the American people.
We Democrats know that government can provide for our needs, but we insist that we control the government and not the other way around.
The American people want jobs, and Jimmy Carter is pledged to make jobs his #1 concern.
Now, we need strong government programs to implement employment, primarily in the private sector, but as a top priority. And if we carefully target government programs and government incentives, we can reach an unemployment rate of 4% or less without having the strong inflationary pressures that have been anticipated and predicted by those who think that government can accomplish this worthwhile goal.
The American people want a government that is compassionate, concerned, competent, and Jimmy Carter has pledged himself to that kind of government.
We need an efficient government. We need to make investments where they pay the richest dividends, and that is in our people. Some people say it costs too much to put our people back to work. I think it's cost too much not to put our people back to work. Now, this is a kind of an absence in government leadership that cost us all. The American people want work, not welfare.
The American people want a leader in the White House they can be proud of, a man of integrity, a man who keeps his word. And we feel Jimmy Carter is that man.
But we must have a president who will lead this country, one who's not timid, one who treats Congress with respect, one who deals with the sensitive and important needs of our people, who doesn't let this nation drift, and who restores the spirit and the hope and the dreams and aspirations and confidence of the people of this country.
The American people want a president who is responsible to the needs of the people, responsible in his dealings with friend or foe, ready always to level with the people. Jimmy Carter is that man.
There's only one place for that leadership to come, and that's from the White House. In the absence of that leadership, there is no leadership, and the country's drifting. And next year, we're going to turn that around and change that too.
Let me underscore one point. The Carter-Mondale ticket is a good one, and it is ahead in the polls. But don't be misled. Polls have a way of changing. The race will be tough and tight, and the Carter-Mondale ticket needs all the help we can give it. First, to get elected. Second, to have a Congress that will work with them to get this country moving again. And finally, to tackle the great problems facing this country that have been ignored by Nixon and Ford for the past 7.5 years. This country needs leadership. The Congress needs leadership. The executive branch needs leadership. And the American people are crying for leadership.
There's a hunger among the people of our country to restore the precious things that we've lost. In the aftermath of Vietnam and Cambodia, with Watergate tragedy and CIA revelations, the people feel that they can't trust the government anymore. And our people also feel that we don't amount to too much in the decision-making processes of our nation. Every time we've made a serious mistake in recent years, it's been because the American people have been excluded from the process, held at arm's length. That needs to be turned around, because that's where the strength of America lies. Among people who don't want anything selfish for themselves, but just want to be treated fairly. And they want to see the tremendous strength of this country reawakened. And if I can stay close to those people with your help, and if I can get the support of you and your union members, that will make the difference in the campaign. So your importance cannot be overemphasized. And my appreciation to you is deep and heartfelt. I need your help between now and November the 2nd. If I can have it, and I know I can, then we'll win and have a great nation once again. Thank you very much. And God bless you.
The election of a president committed to jobs begins with you. Are you registered? Is every voting age member of your family registered? Jimmy Carter stands with you for jobs, for fair prices, for decent health care, for tax justice, for integrity in public service. Then, on Election Day, make sure you, your family, and your fellow workers vote. That's the way to make America the winner on November 2nd.